Watch in the Woods. The year was 1997, and the town of Pine Hollow sat nestled between stretches of pine forest and a forgotten railway. It wasn't much more than a few streets, a gas station, and a diner that smelled permanently of coffee and smoke. 12-year-old Cody Miller had lived there his whole life. His world was quiet, an endless cycle of cracked sidewalks, distant train whistles, and the constant hum of crickets after dark. One late afternoon, as the sun began to fade behind the trees, Cody wandered into the woods behind his house. He wasn't supposed to go too far. His mom always warned him the forest keeps things that don't belong. But curiosity pulled him deeper that day, past the rusted fence and into the hollow where the air felt heavier, quieter. That's where he saw it, a watch half buried beneath a layer of dead leaves. Its silver surface caught the last sliver of sunlight, glinting faintly. It wasn't like any watch he'd seen before. Old-fashioned, its face cracked, hands unmoving at 3:12. Still, something about it felt special, important. He slipped it onto his wrist. The second it touched his skin, the forest seemed to exhale, a slow, low sound, like the wind dragging through branches. Cody froze. The woods looked the same, but the shadows seemed thicker somehow. When he returned home, the kitchen light flickered. His mom stood by the stove stirring soup. "Look what I found," Cody said, holding up his wrist. She glanced over, brow furrowed. "Found what, sweetie?" "The watch," he said, confused. "Right here." His dad looked up from his newspaper. "You mean your wrist?" Cody laughed nervously and pointed again. "No, the watch. Can't you?" But they both stared at him like he was joking. His mom smiled uncertainly, then went back to her soup. That night, Cody couldn't sleep. The ticking sound started around midnight. Slow at first, then faster, like a heartbeat. He pressed his ear to his wrist, but the watch's hands hadn't moved. Still, the sound was there, deep in his bones. He tried taking it off, but the clasp wouldn't budge. It felt warm against his skin, almost pulsing. Over the next few days, strange things began happening. The world felt slightly wrong. People moved slower. His parents repeated phrases without realizing it. "Did you feed the dog? Did you feed the dog?" The same words, same tone. Cody started seeing shapes in the corners of rooms, reflections that didn't match his movements. The ticking grew louder whenever he looked in the mirror. He went to his friend Ben's house to show him. "You don't see it?" Cody asked, panic in his voice. Ben just shook his head. "You're scaring me, dude." The next day at school, no one talked to him. Not ignored, more like they didn't notice him at all. His teacher called attendance and skipped his name entirely. When he raised his hand, she looked straight through him. That night, Cody's parents didn't come to his room. He called out, once, twice, but no answer. When he went downstairs, the house was empty. Plates sat on the table, soup still steaming, but no one was there. The watch ticked faster. He ran outside, yelling for help, but the town was silent. No cars, no lights in the windows. Just the sound of the wind through the trees. He looked down at his wrist, the hands now moving backward, slowly, deliberately. Cody stumbled into the woods, following the same path where he'd found it. The trees loomed larger now, darker. The air buzzed with the sound of unseen insects. When he reached the hollow, everything stopped. No wind, no sound, no time. He sat down on a fallen log, breathing hard, the ticking loud enough to drown out his thoughts. He tried shouting again, for his mom, his dad, anyone. But his voice didn't echo. It didn't go anywhere. In the fading light, he saw movement. Shapes between the trees. Not people exactly. Shadows wearing faces that looked almost familiar. One of them turned toward him, and for a split second, it had his father's eyes. Then it was gone. Cody looked down. The watch had finally stopped. Its hands rested again at 3:12. He waited there in the silence, unsure how long it had been. Hours, maybe days. The forest didn't change. Time didn't move. When a search party finally came through weeks later, They found nothing but Cody's bicycle leaning against the fence line. No footprints, no signs of struggle, just a faint indentation in the dirt where someone might have sat for a very, very long time. Some nights people in Pine Hollow say they hear faint ticking coming from the woods. And if you listen long enough, just long enough, you might almost hear a boy's voice calling for someone who can't hear him anymore.